Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Queers of Time podcast.
I'm Matt.
I'm James.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast to talk about all the gay stuff in the Wheel of Time.
Because we're gay and we like the Wheel of Time. So as always, thank you to Lux, our Feral Venator of Sorain, for the support.
So, between a very sexy and corruptable Dain Bornhald, dominatrix mommy Lanfear, and the maiden who speared all of our hearts, the Wheel of Time Season 2 continues to give. In fact, it's so good that even some of the most vocal critics are accidentally stumbling into quality opinions on the show. What's not to love? Well, unless you're Egwene. Maybe if she were the strongest channeler we've seen in 1,000 years, she wouldn't be in this situation. But anyways, it's time for us to discuss all the fun of episode 5 entitled Damane.
So as for the first few episodes, we're going to have a first part that does not contain any book spoiler, and a second part that's probably going to be quite short about book spoiler, because I don't think there's that many things to talk regarding book spoiler.
I mean, I have stuff to say about a certain Aiel that does not show up that I don't care about, and I don't think anybody should care about. And if you do care about him, then you're stupid.
Yeah, but like that's not going to take us half an hour.
Oh, it will. No, it's fine.
So what do we want to start with?
I kind of like the idea of starting with Lanfear, who kind of like opened this episode and then also ended this episode, because she is my favorite chaotic bitch.
Gosh, she was so good.
She is so campy.
Like that bitch line.
I'm so gay for Lanfear. I just have to say, I am so gay for Lanfear.
I'm a little straight for Lanfear, so like the casual cruelty, like how she just flipped the switch from being Celine to being Lanfear and exploding heads and like zipping someone's mouth shut with their own flesh is just like, it's amazing. She is so deranged.
It was so hot.
I think we have an issue.
My favorite line of Lanfear's, aside from bitch, was, or my favorite scene rather, was when she was talking to the stable master. She caught up to the stable master and she was like, whose idea was it, this little trick? And the stable master says, the Aes Sedai's, the young man, he seemed to be half in a daze, only following. And she cut her off and she was like, of course he was. He's still so young. I must remember that. And I'm like, you're crazy. You're fucking bonkers. I am afraid.
I love it.
Sanity? She doesn't know what that means.
What is sanity?
I'm not like turned on by her, but I want her to adopt me. I just like, and just take me everywhere on her adventures. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, I love Lanfear. I think everything about her was just fantastic. She's so campy. Her and Ishi's dream world costumes when they're meeting, it was just so good. I love the ancient /
the nightgowns.
Yes, the nightgowns. It was so campy. It was so campy. And then at the end, her runway look.
Her runway look where she is not going to sashay away.
She's not going to sashay away because if RuPaul so much as suggests that she's not in the top 2, heads will explode. And
I mean, I can deal with RuPaul's head exploding. That's fine.
Same. Very much same.
I'm just going to say, like, that look during the dream, with her shorter hair and the makeup, that was a look that I really, really, really enjoyed.
Oh, yeah. There's no Lanfear that is not incredibly, like, who are these people who are, like, complaining about Natasha O'Keeffe not being the most beautiful woman? Like, go screw yourselves. She's
so hot. I'm
not into women at all, but she is hot, no matter what clothes, what era, what persona she's in. She's just indomitably hot, and there's no arguing it.
I think that her short hair is like Lanfear hair. Like, that will be her hair going forward, I think.
I hope so. I hope for that.
Because all of the Celine hair was long, and then when she showed up in the dream with the Shamael and in the dream world, well, I don't know, maybe it's just her dream world hair, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
I don't know. It was perfect.
Yeah, on a less insane part, I did enjoy the constant reminders that the Forsaken comes from a very evolved society and everything about the current age seems very boring and slow and, oh no, horses.
Is there anything slower than a horse?
Is there anything slower than a horse? I did enjoy the callback to All Roads Leads to Tarvalon.
Mm-hmm.
That made me laugh a little bit. And yeah, Ishamel also being like in the dream. What did he say exactly in the dream? I don't remember.
About what?
There was another comment between the two of them about how this world is so old compared to their technology. And yeah, I don't exactly remember, but it felt very much when he says to the future, to the past, and I like that.
Yeah, I love the interaction between those two, and I loved like Sarah Nakamura clearly put in that line about like Moghedien and
the boys,
Grendel and the boys, and I'm just like, this is good.
Yeah,
I'm curious as to who it's going to be, but
no, and actually I have to tell this story because maybe I shouldn't, because people will just mock me like they always do, but I started the episode and Ishi was walking through the canyons and I was like, oh my god, he's waking up another Forsaken, oh my god, and I got super excited, and then I realized that I accidentally was replaying the previous episode. It took me way too long to realize that I was replaying the 4th episode.
Oh honey.
I'm special, I know.
Oh honey.
That happens.
I was tempted to just rewatch it, but I didn't. I had to skip forward because it was late and the bitch got asleep.
I mean, episode 4 is a very good episode. Episode 5 is a better episode somehow. So,
you see, I'm not able to rank this episode. For me, I love them all the same, and I cannot put one above the other.
This is a case. With episode 8, I was looking for something nice to say. With episode 6 of this season, I was like struggling so hard to find something to say, and the only thing I can think is that the stable lady's lips being sewn looked a little CGI-like, and I was like, that threw me off for a second, but like, that's such a minor complaint.
Did you know that it was actually CGI? It was actually CGI. It didn't actually happen.
Yeah, how else would they do it? Practical effects? Oh, you're trying to insult me. Anyways, the CGI was like kind of obvious, but like, that's such a minor complaint.
I saw it's episode 5, not episode 6.
Yeah, this is episode 6, sorry.
5.
Wait, 5? Oh, god damn it. Look, I'm tired.
We are doing great today.
It's okay. We're doing great.
I'm on a new med today, so...
Also, Kat couldn't be here, so Kat might record some thoughts later. So,
yes.
Yeah. It's okay. When people aren't here, we forget about it. It's fine. I saw you had some notes about Perrin, Camille.
Our little Para Bear.
I find Perrin boring this season, but...
I mean, you always find Perrin boring.
That's true.
So there's that. No, I mean... He had a few scenes. He had some stuff with Elias that I found interesting regarding what Elias tells him about his pack and how his wife wasn't part of his pack. And I like that, like Perrin quickly distanced himself from Elias. Elias is kind of a grey character in general, and I like that the show is kind of playing with that. I love that Hopper stayed with Perrin. I found that cute.
Yes, it's very cute.
Hopper is just a fucking dog, and he's cute. I'm sorry.
I mean, Hopper is a dog, and I don't understand the big deal. I feel like Perrin's character is only interesting because of the people around him.
That's not wrong.
I agree with that in the books. As someone who doesn't like Perrin in the books, I am finding him more interesting this season.
Yes.
I guess that's just because he is more emotive this time around, and also like there's higher stakes for him. So I think his best episode last season was when he and Egwene were trapped with the White Cloaks, because that was like the most that he acted.
Yeah.
And we're getting more emotional range from him, which is why I'm enjoying him more.
I think Marcus Rutherford is an amazing actor. And I think he's doing a lot with the character of Perrin. I just personally don't find Perrin super interesting this season yet. Who knows? He just seems like a background character. He does not seem like a main character to me.
I can see that.
Yeah, he doesn't have much to do right now, but at the same time, he didn't have much to do in the book so far either. So
right.
I'm curious how it's, because right now it's like he's meeting people for a very short period of time, and that's it. He was with the Shannarian for a bit. Now he met Elias for a few episodes. Then he met Dain Bornhald for one episode, which was... I did enjoy that conversation between the two of them, mostly because it's... I don't know, it gives a bit more depth to these new characters that appear. That was also very one-dimensional in the book.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be with Avienda for a bit. So it's like he's not staying a long time with the same people.
Yeah. Without going into spoilers, I kind of want Dain to be in love with Perrin and him feeling betrayed by Perrin. And at the end is what is like starts a grudge for him. And like he's like just, I don't know. I kind of ship them now. Or I kind of want Dain to be happy. He's just, I don't know. I like Dain.
I'm sorry. I thought Dain was very evil in this episode, and I don't understand. Aside from him being hot, I don't find any part of him charming.
The repressed religious part.
I mean, it did give water to Avienda, which she could have not to, and gets him in trouble with Valda.
Okay.
The thing is that is a contrast to Valda, which is the other main White Cloak we got. That was such a bastard.
I enjoy that we're getting throwbacks to season 1 characters that I did not think we were going to get. Like in episode 3, we got the actor that played Tam. In this episode, we got Eamon Valda. Like, it's showing that these characters are still in the world. And I mean, I'm mostly just grateful that the actors are like willing to come back for it. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah, he came back for literally 5 minutes,
if that. Yeah,
not even.
Yeah,
which is pretty sweet. Because it's not like filming in the UK, it's filming in Prague. So, do you have any thought about Avienda that we got to see for the first time in this episode?
Perfect.
Best fight scene of the show, including Blood Snow,
including everything. Yeah.
Oh.
But again, I was not super impressed by Blood Snow. I thought it was very cool, but it wasn't like. But I do love that the two badass fight scenes that we see are IEO women.
Yeah.
I would say I agree with you as somebody who I was impressed by the Blood Snow scene, and I thought it was a really high bar, and I think the Avienda fight scene surpassed it. Like, the Blood Snow for me was like the point when I said, okay, this show has potential to like go to like heights, and Avienda's fight scene was like, okay, they've reached the heights, and they're reaching even higher. So like, as much as I did like the Blood Snow scene, I agree that like Avi's fight scene was just phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think that they used the same camera. I loved the last scene, or the last shot there was when she had her, like, spear over Dain, or the axe over Dain, whatever, a weapon over Dain, and it zoomed out, and it was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So one thing that I did very much enjoy about this fight scene was the succession between the different theme, like musical themes they're using. Like the White Cloak show up, so we get a little bit of the White Cloak theme, and then it switched to Avienda's theme, which is very, very nice. I really enjoyed that musical theme. But yeah, I don't have much to say about that. It was badass. I like what they did. I like how Avienda and Perrin fought together. I like that Perrin got his golden eyes while he did that. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed I'm curious as to what is going to trigger his eyes being permanently blue. Or blue. Jesus Christ. I know what colors are.
Golden.
What his eyes being permanently golden, yes. I'm curious as to like what event is going to trigger that, if anything.
Oh, that's curious. Yeah. I wonder whether it's going to be like a specific event that's going to trigger that, or just time going by, and then one season is just going to have them permanently golden. That's it. Or is it maybe?
Yeah.
It's when Perrin bangs Dain.
Yep. It's when he has his first gay orgasm.
His first gay orgy with Dain.
Gang banged by the White Cloaks, Volume 3.
Okay, moving on.
No. I had one thing. Perrin and Avienda's interaction after the fight and the not flirting that they're doing was absolutely amazing. Like, I loved Avienda's like dopey smile after she was like, I'm not going to attack you in a fit of lust or something. And it was just amazing. It made me really happy to watch her smile like that.
She better be queer. If she's not, I'm going to be mad. I'm sorry.
I enjoy like up to now we've gotten like the Aiel as like stoic, angry fighters who kill people that are opposing them, and I'm glad that Aviendha smiled and joked around in the show because it adds a new depth of flavor to the Aiel and to the characters.
What other Aiel have we had except for Shael?
So one in the cage.
There's like, we haven't seen an Aiel smile and have like joy, and it was nice to see that.
Yeah, we've just seen one give birth on the side of a mountain.
Okay, well, she was pushing a dragon out of puss, so...
And then and then we saw a dead one in a cage. Like, I'm just saying, like, to say we've only seen one type of Aiel is a little...
No, I get kind of what you mean, because it's like we always get the perspective of other people being like, oh, Aiels are terrifying, there's bad guys, they're like killed 20 people for one Aiel and this kind of thing. And
like the best Aielman's the dead Aielman.
Yeah, they actually sound like pretty nice folks when you don't fight them.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do we want to go to next?
I mean, I don't have much on Suroth. I guess we could jump to the whole like Shan-Chan plotline with the girls as well, but for Suroth specifically, she's messy.
Yeah.
And they're setting her up as like, I feel like Ishamael infiltrated the Shan-Chan and was like, hooked himself up with Suroth and was like, well, this one's like pliable. And then he's just like, oh, she's just dead ass crazy. Okay. And not like in a fun way like Lanfear.
Right.
She has a temper.
She has a temper, and the way she addresses Ishamael and the way she talks to him, you may be chosen, but you are not of the blood. I'm like, I needed to pause the TV and just be like, girl, you dumb bitch.
That is like a chihuahua barking at an elephant.
But it does say a lot about the sentience in general.
It does.
And how superior they feel, especially like how the blood feels compared to the rest of the society.
Oh, 100%. It is a very good world building. It just, for that character, I was just like, oh, girl. Like, Ishamael could, like, just kill you.
Yeah.
If you weren't useful,
you'd be dead.
You would be dead.
Or he'd just give you over to the Forsaken to have as a toy.
Yeah.
And like the look Suroth gave to Ishamael right when Turak asked her to kneel made me really feel like she was almost expecting Ishamael to kill Turak right now. I'm like, dude, he's not gonna do that.
I'm also like curious because like Ishamael was clearly, for a second I thought Ishamael wasn't actually there. And I don't know, like maybe he had made himself invisible to everybody else or whatever, but like, people saw that she looked to him, and that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's blood. She shouldn't be caring. She shouldn't be showing that she care for the opinion of some dude that is not even sentient.
Well, and at the end of the episode, it was like Turok saying, you're the one that saw the signs that led to us coming over here to Ishamael, and I'm like, that's cool. Like, how long it hasn't been very long.
Yeah, that's because at the end of the season 1, like, what was the time distance between Rand freeing Ishii and the girl, the waves being like, fuck that girl in particular on the beach? Because, like...
We don't know.
We don't know, but in episode 6, Megan did mention some trouble in the west.
Yeah, ships from the west, so it might have... Yeah, so I think Ishamael was like infiltrating the dreams as he does, and then when he was fully out, he probably like traveled all the way over there and stuff. So
that's true.
I don't know. I'm curious as to like how he might have been like a myth more than anything, and then when he was freed, he became an actual person, and Turok was like, "Oh, okay, this is who you are."
Maybe
I don't know. But yeah, Suroth is messy. I loved the entire scene between Suroth and Liandrin, and how much like vitriol there was between the two of them, and how much Suroth hates the Aes Sedai.
Oh yeah, it's how she tells Liandrin that she cannot wait to be the one putting the collar on her neck, around her throat.
And then Liandrin is like, when you kneeled, like, you'll be the one kneeling to me.
Honestly, I root for Liandrin in this situation.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I find that very...
She's hotter.
I find that very interesting that even within the dark forces. Like, they have so many political things going on. Some of them hate each other and they still kind of have to work together because they've been asked to. They don't have much of a choice.
I mean, it's like a check they didn't think they would ever have to cash. Because people have been dark friends for hundreds of years and they've never been involved in something like this. It's just been like, randomly killing someone. But now it's like, oh, it's actually the apocalypse and you need to take part. And they're like, fuck.
Like, I have to do things. You applied for this job, now you gotta do it.
I thought I was just sitting at a desk all day.
Yeah. And we got to see Palanfane again.
That's true.
With a horn.
Yeah, that was weird, but cool.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we're going to see more of Palanfane at some point, but...
it would be nice.
We haven't seen much of him this season at all.
Yeah, he was in 2 scenes so far, so I'm very curious. I am curious, Suroth looks freaky to me, and I can't quite figure out why. Like, I would like Suroth to keep the mask on. Without the mask, she looks a little creepy.
I love the aesthetic they're giving to the Ascension, like to the person of the blood, especially with like all the shaved hair and the scaring on the head. They also, like when you see Egwene at the end, you see the new Suldam with very fresh scaring on the cheeks. So it seems like it's very a ritual thing, like depending on the role you have in your society, you have a certain type of scaring and that's it. But for Suros, like, I mean, I think all of the blood are like that, but they don't have eyebrows.
She doesn't have eyebrows. That's what it is.
Oh, that's why she looks weird.
Okay, that might be part of it. So when I first saw that scene with Suroth without her mask on, I was like, is that Sarah Paulson? Because it looks like Sarah Paulson a little bit.
It did. Oh my god, you're right.
Oh.
I'm just saying, like, I was like, is Sarah Paulson in the Wheel of Time? I don't know. Is there anything else on Suroth specifically?
She creepy, that's it.
Curious how it's gonna turn out between her and Turak. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and I'm curious as to what, because Ishamael told her, and I know why you swore your house to the dark, and that immediately switched her mood. What's that? What's happening here?
I know, I'm like, are we gonna have a Leandrin situation? Like, are we gonna start feeling bad for Suroth?
No, please, no.
Are we gonna sympathize with Suroth? Because I don't think I'm ready for that.
Don't do it, Rafe.
No, I cannot with that. I'm already sympathizing with the White Cloak as Dain Bornhald, which I know you didn't like, James, but I kind of I thought it was interesting, which was better than what he was in the books.
That's absolutely fair. I think he is more interesting in the show than he is in the books. I just don't find him, like, I'm not in love with him.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of people are in love with him.
I can sympathize with the murderer, but I can't sympathize with the slaver, so please don't do it, Rafe.
Okay. Nynaeve and the girls.
Yeah. So what do you think about the discussion between Leandrin and Nynaeve?
Just perfect. Mm-hmm. I love all of the interactions between Leandrin and Nynaeve this season. Like the little speech in the ways, the smirk that Leandrin gives when she wakes Nynaeve up right before going through the Waygate. Like, it's just all really, really good. It also did a lot of lore. Mm-hmm. Like, there was Arthur Hawkwing, talks about the Aes Sedai history and shows Nynaeve's, like, moral compass, which obviously we know of, but...
It's good to get the confirmation that the reason why Leandrin was obsessed with Nynaeve was because she thought she could turn Nynaeve to the dark, which how could she think that?
Yeah.
She was a bit too optimistic about that.
Yeah, I just thought it was amazing. It was, I don't know. The writing in this season is so good.
Top notch.
It's funny that you mentioned like how much lore is being given, because I felt like this episode gives a lot of world building overall, because we get a lot about the Aid, we get some stuff about the White Cloaks, we get some stuff about the wolves, we get some stuff about we get a lot of things about everything.
Even Teleron Riad.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah, it's I'm curious. So I haven't checked any non-reader reactions about this episode. I never checked any reaction before we record our episode. I'm curious how non-reader feels about all of the lore that is being introduced there. Whether it feels like being talked a lot of lore, or if it's feel very natural to them. That's something I'm curious about.
I think it'll be interesting because I think a lot of them are just like little like fan service things. And we'll get to a couple of those in the spoiler section. But overall, like, I wonder if they feel overwhelming for people because they're like, well, who the hell is this? Or what are you talking about?
Yeah. So to keep going about the girls, we get to see a little bit Elaine and Nynaeve interacting in Falm.
Sharing a single brain cell.
Are we saying Falma or Falm? Because I remember Rafe saying Falma in an interview, and now everyone is saying Falm.
I say Falm, but a lot of people say Falme.
I say Falma.
Falma, Falme, Falm. I think we can all just agree on whatever. We know what we're talking about.
Yeah, but like in the shows they're saying Falm, right?
In the show they are saying Falm.
Okay. Anyway, Elaine and Nynaeve interacting. I love all of their interaction. Them sneaking into Falm, and Elaine is a smart one. Nynaeve is too mad to be smart.
Nynaeve, girl, relatable.
And yet they share one brain cell.
Well, Nynaeve is relatable or Elaine is relatable?
Nynaeve is relatable. I am too angry to think straight most of the time. Like, I am just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go kill her.
Meanwhile, Elaine is very much having, like, the self-preservation. Like, okay, let's not do something stupid and die.
We all need an Elaine in our lives.
We do. Shout out to Kevin.
Yeah. And also, should we start a kidnapped count for the girls?
Oh my god.
Because, that is not gonna happen. Egwene is already, like, a third time, technically, because it's, like, the White Cloak, Leandrine, and directly after Sanchen.
I would consider the Leandrin and Shanchan one to be like a two-parter.
Yeah, but she almost escaped, and then she didn't.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Maybe if she was stronger, she would have.
Yeah, if only Egwene had been stronger.
Only if she'd been the strongest in 1,000 years.
I did love the little bit at the end where she was like presented in front of Turok, and that Suroth says she was really strong, and I'm like, she was proud. She was a little bit proud in that moment. She was like, yes, I am. Thank you. Nynaeve who?
I would love a non-canon, like just a scene, like a reshoot of that scene where Suroth is like, she's really smart, and Egwene is like, yes. But then Turok is like, but I hear there's another who's the strongest that they've seen in 1,000 years. Just to dig it in a little deeper.
I love that.
Poor Egwene.
I'm gonna suffer so much in next episode for Egwene.
Oh.
I'm not ready for that.
I was expecting a little bit more in this episode for what's going to happen with Egwene. But yeah, it's going to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good.
I'm expecting, especially for an episode titled Damane, to have a bit more explanation about what the Damane are and what's going on. But no, it's just Egwene being turned into a Damane.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought that this past episode we watched was called Damane.
Yes.
That's exactly what I just said, Matt.
Oh. I thought you said since the next episode's called Damane. I misheard.
No.
Okay.
The current episode we just rewatched and we are talking about
I'm sorry.
is called Damane. But we didn't have much explication of what, like, the Damane things, which I'm expecting we're gonna get next episode.
Yes.
Yes, we're actually getting screeners.
Oh, I wish.
No, we are not.
No. No, I loved the entire thing with the girls. The next episode for Egwene is going to be terrible.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not looking forward to it. I like suffering a lot, but I don't like slavery suffering. It's awful.
I mean, the idea that characters are going to be traumatized is a great idea in theory. In practice, when that happens, I feel very bad for all of my favorite characters getting traumatized.
Oh, I want to see Rand strapped to that wheel.
Okay, calm down.
It's not going to be that traumatized. It's going to be a little bit horny.
It's going to be dick hard on that wheel. Yup.
It's like when Moraine say if he seems to be hurt, I don't remember exactly what she says, but about if Rand is hurting, she'll wake him up. The only thought that I had was like, if he start to bend, are you gonna wake him up too or no?
Yeah, I'm like, what if he starts to like have a wet dream?
What if he has a stiffy? Is Maureen gonna wake him up then? It's like, I don't know.
Anyway, do we want to go to Moraine, or we could talk about Verin too, because she's actually talking about the girls. And
I like Varen. I thought Varen was very interesting in this episode.
Yeah,
I was very the Baron Asha just seemed very nerdy.
Yeah.
I loved it.
And awesome.
We've been meaning to visit, but there's so much to read. If it's not like the perfect line for the Bronaja, I don't know if there's any more perfect line to introduce people from the Bronaja.
Yeah. I mean, it basically defines them in a sentence. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I really like Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice to see that actress again.
Yeah.
In a better franchise.
I haven't seen her I haven't followed her career at all, but I haven't seen her in anything important since Harry Potter, so...
Anything important?
Anything that I remember.
Let's look at her filmography.
I mean, anything where, like, she's in a role where her character is not, like, a racial caricature name is great.
Yeah, it looked like she's been in a couple of BBC things.
Okay.
And she's been in, like, main roles in them. But, yeah. And she's credited in 3 episodes for The Wheel of Time, season 2, so...
Oh, so we're getting her for quite a few more episodes. That's good.
Yeah, at least 2 more, so...
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Also, like, I always watch that other franchise in French, so I did not know she had a Scottish accent, so that was quite something to see.
I enjoyed her accent. It was very cute. I also did love the world building that they built into that, like the idea of dark friends in the White Tower. Like,
we get a mention of the Black Aja.
Yeah, the one thing I never like understood in the books is why the White Tower always thinks that they're immune from having dark friends. Like, it's dumb.
Yeah.
Of course there are.
Yeah.
There are definitely, yes.
Yeah, Verin is very much... I saw a tweet about those Bronaja sister and Verin about the Scooby Gang, but the Bronaja version. I don't remember exactly what is the tweet, but that made me laugh a lot because it was, those Bronaja sisters that nobody is suspecting, they're gonna investigate, and Verin is tricking Sheriam so that Jessica can read the book, and I like that vibe.
Scooby and the gang.
I'll watch them, like, investigate about anything. I'll watch hours of that.
I loved Murder, She Wrote with Varen. That was great.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss Angela Lansbury.
And then Verin meeting Leandrine. And obviously Leandrine has exactly the vegetable in season in the town she was supposed to go to, because apparently Leandrine knows every vegetables and every fruits in season anywhere in the world, and that's how she find alibi. How do you say that?
Alibi. You said it right.
Alibi.
Well, if you're from the South, you say alibi.
I love that, like, she's secretly really into, like, horticulture. Like...
The persimmons.
I love it.
Or the white asperges.
I love that is, like, a secret. I want that to be a thing that, like, Kate Fleetwood came up with, but what if she really, really loves gardening?
She might.
It's like the recurring joke about Leandrine. It's like any season I want her to mention a fruit or vegetable that is in season somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
Anything else regarding the tower, regarding the girls, or can we move to Karen?
We can move to Kyrian.
Yeah.
Karen.
The Karens of Karen.
Okay.
The real Karens of Carrion.
Okay, so I laughed out loud when I saw Barthanes.
Oh.
He looks so stupid.
He looks so gay.
He looks so fucking dumb. And I hate him so much. But I loved seeing, like, him being super gay for Rand. Because
yes,
that was... Like, he's super gay for Rand, right?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't notice anything, but if you say so.
You don't count.
Yes, he was very gay for Rand.
Yeah, like, I don't think I was reading into that. But it was very gay for Rand. Also, when Barthanas says that he expects full subservience from Moraine after he becomes king, I wanted to kill him.
Okay.
But yes, I am curious about what's going to happen there with him becoming king. This feels like a messy plot line.
It does.
I'm very curious about what's gonna happen. I don't see how it's messy so far.
It involves Moraine.
Oh.
It's going to be messy.
Oh, messy in that sense.
And probably more dead horses.
I didn't know whether you meant messy like it's a weird writing or messy, oh shit, shit is gonna go down.
Shit's going to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's very much a Suroth situation. I love mess.
It's a mix of petty drama and world-affecting stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was vindicated too when watching this episode because I remember the recording last week where we were talking about Moraine and James was like, oh, I'm sure she left for the White Tower and never saw her family again and could not care less. And no, we have the confirmation that she did meet her nephew apparently enough for him to have some affection for her. But it's been 20 years, which is exactly the time she's been looking for the dragon. So no, she's not... Yes, she's weird. Yes, she's a bitch, but it's not just her fault. She didn't just cut all of her ties as soon as she left for the tower. I'm happy with that.
I understand. I was wrong.
I know.
Oh.
That's the episode title. I was wrong.
I understand I was wrong. No, I am surprised that Moraine came back at all. So it's interesting.
Yeah. I am actually, so I really enjoy the discussion with, I enjoy two things about Moraine because Moraine has been very annoying about telling people stuff. She's been a bit more open with Bran this episode and telling him a lot more, which felt so nice. Finally get some,
oh my God.
I want a good mentor-mentee relationship between them and a good collaboration. And we're starting to have that in this episode. And I very much enjoyed that.
I love open communication in the Wheel of Time.
Wow. Incredible.
This is not a spoiler, but in the books, they don't talk to each other that much.
Robert Jordan.
And a lot of things could be solved if they talked to each other. So...
Robert Jordan's spinning in his grave.
Like they're actually making a plan together.
Yeah, like it was amazing to see.
Yeah. But also, like, I was surprised that Moraine got very vulnerable with her sister. I was not expecting that of her. And I did appreciate it that Anver was like, yeah, you shouldn't have come back. Because that's quite a risk that she's taking right now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm curious how everything's going to go down with the two of them.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think Anver is a very good character. I did like the little subtle shade that she threw about, I can't remember the exact line, but it was like, whatever you've gotten yourself into or whatever you've caused or something. It was a good line.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Moraine is good in this episode, but I don't think it was her episode necessarily. It was Lanfear's episode.
Yeah, which was good. That episode felt so long, and it's actually a lot longer than any episode in the first season. Like, we're definitely above the 60 minutes of screen time when we're moving recaps and credits. And
that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. On the rewatch, it felt like never ending to me.
I mean, it was a pretty long episode. I feel like I can't think of anything I would want cut necessarily, though, so I'm not mad at it.
Oh, I'm not mad at it.
No, I like it. It's fine.
It's just that, like, I know, yeah, I've seen a few people being like, oh, there's only 3 episodes left and there's so much to do. And I'm like, I look at this episode and so much has happened in this episode. I'm like, we're fine.
Yeah.
We're good.
Do we have anything non-spoilery left?
Not for me.
I don't think so. I'm just very excited for the next episode. I think it's going to be very, very terrible. In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to suffer. And we're going to see Mother again, apparently. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that came about. Do we know that?
No.
I think it's on IMDb that there's Sophia Conado's credit on.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'm very much hoping for. Maybe wrong. We'll see.
Breaking. Another news bulletin from Kat in the future. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, future, not past, future. I wanted to share some of my thoughts from episode 5 of Wheel of Time, and I'm sad that I couldn't be there to record with everyone else. I guess now I'm kind of giving it away that I wasn't there to record. I'm sure Camille will put something in. They always do. But yeah, I still wanted to share some of my thoughts because my God, there was a lot that happened in this episode. It's so when the episodes first started, I missed the title sequence because it's cool and it's different and it was just really, really breathtaking. But now I'm at the point where I'm glad they took it out because that amount of those like 2 minutes or however many there were, they really do make a difference. Because the episodes I've noticed are getting like longer, and it feels but it doesn't feel like packed in. It feels like a lot is happening, but it doesn't feel like it's rushed. But it's whoever's Rafe, please, Amazon, please, my God, give this show at least 10 episodes. 10 episodes minimum is what the show, like, I honestly think any fantasy show of this scale, it needs more time. You can't get through everything you need to get through in 8 episodes. It's just not enough. But with the time constraints that the show has, they're absolutely making it work because a lot happened. I'm trying to figure out what I want to start with. So I think I'm gonna leave the bigger things until the end because that's the easiest way. I will say when I'm gonna be talking about spoilery things and because I don't want to ruin the flow of the episode. So number 1. Oh my God. Okay, the Shan-chan. They are so much more than what I was hoping that they would be in like the worst/best way. Because they are so terrifying and also so different. Like they're so different than any kind of other culture that we've seen so far. Saroth is fascinating. I cannot wait to see more of her and get more details on her background and more details on, just more details on what it was that made her join the Dark One. I am genuinely curious. I cannot wait to see. That moment when, they cut off her nails, she looked genuinely devastated. And yeah, it would be for her. But, the actress is doing a great job. She's fascinating. I'm interested in Turok as well, to see where sort of his character goes, and what they do with him. Shan-chan in general, just, very, very appropriately horrible. Very appropriately horrible. I loved the moments that we got with Perrin and Hopper. And Hopper going with Perrin to the back to the village, to the town. And just sort of that the growing bond with them. And Perrin, he's a tricky one. He's such a tricky one to adapt, I think, because he's so much of his motivations is internalized. But I think they're doing a really good job with him, and I think Marcus Rutherford is portraying him really, really well. It's just sort of this like quietness to him, and in a really compelling way, and it really, really came alive in this episode. I think I feel like Perrin really, really came into his own, because his chemistry with Aviendha is something, and I'm not even talking like romantic chemistry. I just mean straight up just like scene partner chemistry. They play off each other really, really well. And I think it was definitely the right call to introduce Aviendha in this way. It just makes her like right away you get a much clearer idea of the Aiel, and also you get a very clear idea of who Aviendha is. And she's like, I mean, the choreography of that fight scene was everything. I knew it was going to be good. I was not expecting that level of good. And just all of the touches of her not like directly interacting with the steel weapons, but using other things to interact with it. I just thought it was so clever. And the touch of Perrin, I think when Perrin originally goes to try and open the cage that Uno's in, he goes with a hammer. And later, obviously in the confrontation, it's the axe. or that's like, I thought that was just a really clever bit to that. But yeah, I loved all of their interactions. And Avienda sort of giving us more details about the Aiel that's not like in an info droppy way, where she's not just like monologuing for 10 minutes. But it happened in a really sort of, I think, natural way. It made sense the way that she said it. Oh, Moraine. She is going through it so bad. And she's teetering on the edge. Moraine is teetering on the edge of a full-on, or maybe teetering on the edge, or in a full-on nervous breakdown right now. And I mean, yeah, of course she is, because of what's happened. But she is her interactions with her sister are just they're so tense, and there's so much history there, and it's heartbreaking to see. And we got Barthanes, which was great. He seems to me he's like a golden retriever. It's very pure, it's very precious. I really, really like him. I like what he's bringing sort of to this whole dynamic. Lanfear, I'm obsessed. I'm officially a stan. I love her so much. She is everything I wanted her to be, and so much more. She's terrifying, but in a very campy way. And I feel like that is exactly the note that they have to hit with the Forsaken, and that they have been hitting with the Forsaken, because Ishamael is terrifying in a campy way as well, but in a different way than Lanfear. Lanfear is very much more obviously unhinged. It's just she's another one that's teetering on the edge, but she's having a great time when doing it. She's having a fantastic time. And I'm sure everyone else has talked about this already, but her waking up and saying bitch in response to Moraine cutting her throat is perfect. It's so good. It's absolutely perfect. I mean, I don't think we could have, I can't imagine a better Lanfear. Lanfear is so much more than what I was expecting her to be. She's just fantastic. And then finally, can we talk about the thing? Liandrin has been and continues to be legitimately one of my favorite parts of the show. Legitimately one of my favorite parts of the show. They have brought so much to her character. I mean, obviously the writing is just fantastic for her. The way that Kate Fleetwood is portraying her is so on point. It just brings so much depth to her, and you really do she's obviously doing very bad things, and she does a very bad thing in this episode, but I can't help but feel for her. I can't help but feel for where she's coming from, kind of. That conversation that she has in the ways with Nynaeve was just so, it just made me so sad for her. I felt so sad for Liandrin, and I think Nynaeve does too. Don't get me wrong, Nynaeve is going to be furious with her. I'm sure she is. But I do think that Nynaeve sees that something has happened in Liandrin's past to push her here. And yeah, it's a beautiful performance by both of them. Liandrin, I could watch Kate Fleetwood and Zoe Robbins play off each other an entire episode. I could watch an entire episode of that, because they're both just such compelling actresses, and the way that they understand their characters and understand their motivations, perfect. That end moment where Leandrin is walking back to the Waygate and lets Nynaeve go, and she just gives this small smile to Nynaeve as she leaves. What does that mean? What does that mean? What? Oh my god. It's just so well done. I like that we're getting so much depth to villains. I like that we're getting villains that are just bad and they just want to fuck shit up. I am so into that. I love that. But like, I love villains with, there's something to them. They're not just doing it for the sake of being evil. And I think that's, in the books, that's something that I think, especially with the Dark Friends, that's something that a lot of them were missing, where there wasn't, they were just kind of doing it and they were there, but we're really getting depth to them. And I appreciate that a lot. Along with this, when, Leandrin is back in the tower and Varen shows up and Varen is talking to her and Leandrin is talking about that fucking white asparagus or whatever it was. The look that Varen gives her is so funny. It's so funny because Varen sees Leandrin. She may not know exactly what Leandrin is up to, but she sees that Leandrin is up to some shit and that she is lying about something. And you can just see from the look on Varen's face that she's like, okay, really? Really? This is what you're coming with? And I don't think that Leandrin sees that Varen sees it, which is so much better. It's so much better. I am thrilled with the brown Aja representation that we're getting. I love that they're dorky and quirky and also love their alcohol. Like, I really, really like that the way that they're being characterized. That it's this balance of because anyone who's been in sort of nerdy kind of pastimes, especially in high school, like the band kids, the theater kids, the math kids, they know how to party. Don't get it twisted. They know how to set it off. And I love that we got that. Yasuka is, she's fantastic. I hope we get so much more of her. She is phenomenal. What else? Is there anything else? The end. I'm so stressed about the end. Obviously, we got, Egwene being captured. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be rough. We're gonna hate it, but it's gonna be great.
All right. So, spoilers.
Spoilers. If you have not read the books, it's time to leave.
Get out
Allie.
right now. It's the end of you and me. I 100% thought Varen was going to poison the two Browns when she brought that wine in.
Same.
I 100% was like, oh, she's just taking these girls out.
Same.
I didn't think she was going to kill them. I think she was going to put them to sleep so she can get in the secret shelves without anybody asking questions.
Yeah, I had the same thought.
Yeah, I did not think about that at all because I was like, that would have been so suspicious. But at the same time, it is a bit surprising that she's revealing that the Black Asha exists.
Everything she's doing is so suspicious.
Yeah.
That bit with Shiriam. I didn't think we were going to get that Shiriam, question mark so soon.
But they gave actually a good excuse for Shiriam because now it's she's just under compulsion.
Yes, but I'm curious as to how many people are gonna read into it. I don't know. I like the intrigue that it's causing.
Yeah, same.
Me too.
I'm wondering if they're gonna hint at Varen being a dark friend without revealing that she's a dark friend because she was basically forced into it and she's actually not at heart a dark friend. Like a triple agent? Is it double or triple agent?
Are you talking about Shiriam or Varen?
Varen. I'm talking about Varen.
Because you said Shiriam.
It's okay.
Oh, sorry. I meant to say Varen.
Yes, so I think Varen is a double agent.
Oh, yeah.
Shiriam is definitely there for the power.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Shiriam is... I love the fact that... that's one of the things I loved about the books, is some people are just evil to be evil.
Mm-hmm.
And
Shiriam is one of them.
Shiriam is one of them. I like the idea that we maybe learn that Varen is a dark friend without learning the why behind it, but I also think that would take away from the big punch at the end.
Right.
but I'm not against it because I trust Rafe. So
Yeah, it's a new turning.
I kind of, regarding Verin and Sheriam, I think, like, for both of them, I didn't really cut on it until the big reveal. There was a lot of hints for Sheriam.
yes.
Especially when getting closer to the reveal. But I still want it to be a gut punch for people who miss the hints.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping that if hints there are, they will stay small.
Yeah.
And also I'm really hoping that the fandom is not going to ruin this thing for the non-reader.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. One thing that I was curious about is that it seems like, so that reveal of the existence of Black Aja in the tower, it's something that I felt in the books as it took a long time to realize, to acknowledge. Like, we get the Black Aja hunt like very late in the books. So I'm wondering whether they're gonna put that plotline a bit earlier.
Well, I mean,
Or start it before the coup.
isn't that what? No, that's not what's happening right now. Never mind. I conflated a couple of plot lines.
So Black Aja hunt within the tower, it's basically Peva and ex-pillow friend whose name I forgot.
Mm-hmm. Yukiri? No.
It's starting with a S.
Oh, I don't know. One of the S names.
Yeah. With one of the, I think it's Cien or something like that.
Cien, okay.
Cien, Serene, Sarine.
And yeah, it's Elida, but asking one of them to hunt basically for the Silida spies. And instead they understand that they have to hunt for the Black Aja. So that's what they end up doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did love the little mention of Verin mentioning Tetsuan. Like, that was, again, Sarah Nakamura at work, because Tetsuan is the first Amerlin that was stripped of her office and stilled by the Hall of the Tower. So that is specifically a, like, nod for the fans.
Oh, God, that's gonna really hurt to watch. God.
Season 3.
I don't want it to happen.
I want it to happen. Sophia Konedo is gonna kill it.
Yeah, hope she kills some people, too.
Oh, I hope people die. I don't know.
I'm not gonna talk about that.
I do love that. I'm curious about which Forsaken we're getting. Because there's the Lanfear, Ishamael, Grendel, and Mogedion. Those are the 4 that are confirmed. There's 4 others. We assume at least 3 of them are boys. I'm curious if Rafe's solution to the whole, like, trans thing is to have maybe be somebody non-binary in there. I would love that personally, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, some people are freaking out because Lanfear didn't mention Cimarog, but don't they just really fucking hate each other, and Lanfear would never deign to mention her if she can help it?
I mean, Lanfear doesn't like anybody, but
It's true.
there's no need for Cimarog in the show, because Cimarog's main function in the books is to deal with the Shan-Jan, which Ishamael is doing. So yes, she's a badass, and I actually will miss her not being in the show, but she can be a cool little book thing.
I mean, I'm not taking it as a given that she's not in the show yet.
Yeah.
Like, I think that Lanfear hates her especially, and, like, they hate each other enough to, like, Lanfear not mentioning her isn't necessarily an indication that she's been cut. So sort of a wait and see thing.
Fair.
I feel the same about her that I feel about Cole. Because a lot of people are sad because it's Avienda scene with, like, the Perrin Avienda scene when Perrin is freeing her from a cage is very much the same things that happen with Cole and Perrin.
Mm-hmm.
However, my thought is that Avienda needs to be introduced way before that all other Ail, because she's the Ail that matters the most.
Right.
Basically, without any doubt.
Objectively, yes. She is the most important Aiel.
Mhm.
Objectively, yes. She's the most important Ail. So it's more important to introduce her in a good way than to introduce someone like Go that may be introduced later on and have a less important introduction, because
Because he doesn't matter.
we don't care that much about his introduction.
Because he doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that much. He's a nice side character, but that's it.
I get where it's like this, like, I would like to see Gaul, but, like, it, to me, it wouldn't affect me if at all. Like, if it wouldn't really affect the show much if he was cut. I mean, I get why people want to see him, because, you know, everybody wants to see their favorite, but, like, characters are going to be cut. We only have 8 seasons, fingers crossed at most. to get through all this. And it just makes sense to have Aviendha instead of Gaul if we're going to have to swap around who Perrin meets.
Like, Gaul does not matter. And the only reason people like him in the books is because he makes Perrin's character more interesting. Like, yes, he is a badass, but like, name one thing special about him that isn't in relation to another character. Like, people like him because of his thing with Bane and Giad. People like him because of his relationship with Perrin. By himself, he's not a super interesting character. And I don't think Perrin's character in the show needs boosting to make him interesting. So I don't think...
He has Dain now.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that role could be filled by Dain. So...
Okay.
I don't know.
Regarding Semirhage, I feel like, yes, Rhino, our main plot is taken by Ishamel because we need someone. We kind of needed a Forsaken to deal with the Ascension. So I don't see it as impossible that she could be introduced later on with something else to do. It's just that Rhino, we needed a Forsaken to take care of the Ascension, and we're not going to introduce like all the Forsaken Rhino. So it was either Ishamel or Lanfear. Because there are going to be 2 Forsaken this season, and that's it.
Yeah, I think maybe we might get 1 or 2 others released at the very end of the season.
I hope so.
As like a not
teaser.
Seen them. Yeah, like as a maybe like a wave thing. Like the wave for the Shan-Chan. Maybe it's just them releasing 2 other ones. Because that would be cool. But I don't want anything more than that.
Yeah.
I'll be happy with whatever.
So what was your thing about Dain, Matt?
Oh yeah, Dain, spoiler theory.
It's dumb now that I think about it because we got the Galad casting, but I was like, why don't they just combine Galad and Dain because they're both like religious nuts, and it seems like the reason for the Dain and Perrin scuffle is not because of Daddy Bornhald, it's because of them talking, and then Perrin's like, no, don't kill him to Aviendha, so like Dain is terrified of what Perrin can do and thinks he's evil, but also he saved him, so like how can he be evil? I just think it would be much more interesting to combine Galad and Dain and their storylines together, because then we would get Dain killing Eminvalda, but then that would have to be a more gaze change, plus we already have that Trump or anti-vaxxer actor playing Galad next season, so I don't know, it's a thought. I think it would be a cool thing, but it seems like that's not what's going to happen.
I could see through Dain being more important in the show than he was in the books. Because in the books, it doesn't have much to do. Like, he's an annoying, like, White Cloak, and that's pretty much it. Maybe he'll have a bit more importance within the White Cloaks later on. So...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious as to where that whole plot is going to go, like, because Dain was just introduced this episode, so I'm curious to see, like, what he's going to do for the rest of the season, if anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also, like, Daddy Bornhald is still going to die this season, pretty much. So,
Not that we base whether a character deserves to be in the show more or less because of the actor, but Jay Duffy is very much into being in the Wheel of Time and interacting with the fandom, which makes it more fun. So I would just like to see more of Dain just for that reason, even if it's not, like, technically a valid reason, but...
Yeah. Since you mentioned Galad, we got a Gawain mention in this episode, so we can finally bury all of the Galad and Gawain are going to be merged theories and forget about that.
Yeah, that was special.
Maybe Galad will die, or Gawain will die in his introduction episode.
Okay, he's not going to die. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what else we have.
I have small saying, like, I just like Elias saying you can't run from what you are, boy, to Perrin, because that's basically what Perrin is going to do all the time.
That's all Perrin does, I swear to God.
I am... I see a few people being annoyed that Suros mentioned that Egwene was one of the strongest Damanes they saw, because they were like, oh, but no, in the book there's this Damane that is super strong and blah, blah, blah. And like, we don't care about that person. We really don't care. It's fine if Nynaeve is a stronger channeler once as a year, no matter where. It's fine. And also my last thing is that I am so conflicted about Anver and Bartanes because I actually like them. And I know some people don't. Some people feel very suspicious about them. But like, I kind of don't want them to be dark friends.
Oh, I think Anver is going to be a dark friend, and I think Barthanes is just going to be caught in the crossfire, because that would be heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Either that or like Barthanes is like actually brilliant and manipulating things, and his dumb is just an act, and she really is a dark friend. Or maybe neither of them are dark friends, or both of them are dark friends, or maybe Barthanes will become Rand's fourth. Who knows?
I think it would be actually interesting if they're not dark friends, because it would push readers not to always consider that someone who was a dark friend in the books is going to be a dark friend in the show, or someone who was a dark friend in the show was a dark friend in the books.
Yeah.
I guess it gave a little bit more suspense for all of us. And those are like easy character to change.
Yeah, I mean, they could just be bad people without being dark friends.
I would like to see some changes, and like I would like to see like, so if we can kill Uno off, what's to say we can't save some characters from dying, like maybe Swan, like give her and Moraine a happy ending. I just like,
you're preaching to the core here.
it's like, because people who die during Tarmangaiden, like whether they live or die isn't crucial to the plot moving forward, because there is no plot moving forward. That's the end. But like killing off a minor character like Uno, or saving a more major character like Swan, like why not do it? Like it adds tension. So I don't know. That's just my little spiel.
Yeah.
So if Barthanes and Anvir are not dark friends, or if the story plays out different in the books, which I don't even remember from the books because it was so small.
Well, I still think that, I mean, by the end of this season, they have to start a civil war in Cairhien, more or less. They're going to leave Cairhien being a freaking mess. And both Anvir and Barthanes are going to suffer in a way or another from that. Whether it's because they were dark friend or not, I don't know. But shit's going to go down very soon.
Yeah, I'm curious as to the Civil War that, like, I assume shit is going to happen to the Queen and Barthanes, and then that is going to, like, send them into a civil war. So I'm curious about that. I think it's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, I think, well, I kind of touched on it, but yeah, I love that we're skipping all of the Moraine and Rand tension that made up so much of The Great Hunt and The Dragon Reborn, because honestly, that was so annoying.
Yeah.
And just communication is great. It's great.
And also, like, when Rand is going to lose his mentor, it's going to hurt a lot more if they've actually been talking and collaborating together for a while. In the books, they've been basically talking for, like, alpha books before she dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they also better not kill Moraine. Like, I just, no.
They aren't going to kill Moraine.
They're not going to.
I know.
James, you did say that, like, 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Oh. Maybe I did. Maybe they'll kill Moraine. I don't know.
James is mercurial.
No, you were like, oh, maybe they're gonna kill Moraine at the end of season 2, and I was like,
oh,
she's filming for season 3.
Oh, yes. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So do we have anything else? Or are we all good?
I think we're good. I think it was a really good episode, and I just really enjoy it, and I'm curious to see where it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. Can't wait for next episode. It's going to be good. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so hurtful. We're going to love it.
And so I'm going to start talking about spoiler things. We got so many tidbits this episode. We got the Block Aja. We got a Gawain reference. What else? Oh, that's right, Barthanes. I'm curious as to whether or not they're still going to, if they're going with the dark friend aspect with him, or if they're going to do it with, if they're going to put someone else in that role. Honestly, either way, I'm fine with it. If they choose not to do anything with it at all, completely fine with that. It's not a problem at all. I don't have a problem with that at all. Oh, we got a reference to, of course, I can't think of the Amerlin's name, but the first one who got stilled and stripped of office. So that was a little stressful. That made my blood pressure go up a little bit. We got reference to more of the Forsaken, which is great. We got Moghedien, we got Grendel, and who's the other one? Did we get anyone else? Moghedien, Grendel, and I guess those were the only two that were mentioned, huh? But so those are the ones that we have confirmed. It is fascinating that the way that Grandals, I can see why she would characterize her, why Lanfear would characterize her as that, but it's interesting that she describes Moghedien as insane, which is, what does that mean? Insane. Also, Lanfear, girl, pot meat kettle. I mean, come on. But I find that genuinely fascinating. What else? I mean, just Leandrin in general, I'm really curious as to where her character is going to go. If it's going to be a similar journey to her book character, or if there's going to be, if she's going to pull from aspects of other characters that have sort of similar paths to her. Like if we're going to get a little hint of Alviarin or a little hint of Galena, like if there's going to be sort of a combining of that, or if they're just going to sort of pull threads from different characters and use them for when they need them. That's going to be, it'll be interesting to see. This is going to motivate the hell out of Nynaeve, because Nynaeve and Elaine are going to be doing some Black Aja hunting soon. They're going to be hunting the Black Aja for sport. And I imagine that Nynaeve is going to be, let's say, personally motivated in this. Very personally motivated for this. And so I cannot wait to see how that turns out, specifically because they've done so much work in developing sort of this relationship, this kind of almost kinship between Nynaeve and Leandrin, which is not something I ever expected or saw coming, but I'm completely on board. I'm into it. I am up for whatever they want to bring in the future. Yeah, and also I will say, I do feel like the sort of relationship between Nynaeve and Leandrin is a little bit of a precursor to what we could potentially get with Nynaeve and Moghedien, who is also mentioned in this episode. So yes, love that for us. Love that journey for us. I think that's it. This was a great episode. I am so stressed for episode 6. And so that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for listening and for sticking around. If you want to find us anywhere, we're on Twitter for as long as it's free. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky. We have never posted anything on Blue Sky, but we're there at Queers of Time as always. We have a Discord server that you can join. We've been talking about the different episodes. It's been pretty nice. Today we were talking about queer sci-fi and fantasy books, and that was a cool discussion. What else? I was thinking about something. You can also support us through Patreon. Producing a podcast has a cost, and we always appreciate anyone willing to support us. So, bye everyone.
Bye.
Thank you all for listening. This was Queers of Time, a Wheel of Time podcast. The music is Dance of the Witches by Julius H.